Welcome back to yet another session. In this session, we will discuss epistemological method of rationalism and empiricism. The dawn of modern philosophy, characterized chiefly by the reflection of scientific spirit, gave much prominence to epistemology or theory of knowledge. The continental rationalism and empiricism are the two outstanding epistemological methods that sought to give justification to knowledge practices along with its source, origin as well as limits. These thought trends laid the foundation of all subsequent methods of knowledge. Rationalism holds that reason is the sole or primary source of knowledge. It asserts the power of human reason to reach sure and universal knowledge. Rational mind can attain knowledge with the help of self-evident concepts and principles. Rationalists often believe in a theory of innate ideas, according to which these truths are innate to the mind, that is, they are part of the original dispositions of the intellect. Rationalism insists that no certainty can be attained by the means of our senses. It is also not possible to attain certainty about the objects of sense experience. What can be known are mental objects, and these are known not by senses but through reason. Rationalists often assert that the objects that can be known with complete certainty are the real and the prominent ones of the world, and that the others are either illusionary, unreal or trivial. Empiricism commences with the actual situation of human life and to examine what information we have, where we get it from, and what degree of reliability it may have. Empiricists find it futile to search for absolute truths about the so-called real world. They insist that we should start by examining sense information, even though it may not be completely certain. The sense data is the source and the foundation of human knowledge. Empiricists seek to relate the contents of our mind, our knowledge and beliefs, and their acquisition to sense-based experience and observation. Experience is the touchstone of truth and meaning, and that we cannot know of things which go beyond our experience. Rationalists hold that pure reason can be a source of knowledge and ideas. Rationalists' view is that isolated pieces of factual belief are insignificant compared with the certainties of a rational system of knowledge, such as geometry gives us. As for our initial ideas, some of them are innately built into the mind and do not come from experience. The limits of knowledge and of intelligibility are not set by experience. Empiricists claim that we can know reliably only what comes to us by sensory experience and by observation and experiment and by testing through experience. Knowledge is based upon the senses, upon the flux of the sensible world. Empiricism gives primacy to sense experience over reason. They reject the theory of innate ideas and refuse the claim of rationalism that reason alone is capable of providing genuine knowledge. The epistemological method of both trends, rationalism and empiricism, can be known through their representative thinkers. The prominent rationalist philosophers are Descartes, Spinoza and Leibniz. Empiricism is best reflected in the thought of John Locke, George Berkeley and David Hume. The rationalist doctrine that complete understanding of a proposition is sufficient enough for a person to know whether the proposition is true or false has been forwarded in Descartes' work Rule for the Direction of the Mind. A man who understands a proposition perfectly is one who can reason correctly with it, can see all that it entails and all that it denies. Influenced by the certainty of mathematical method, Descartes wanted to form such an accurate philosophical method. In his book, Discourse on Method, he outlined 4 rules to be followed in the method of philosophical investigation, which are as follows. First one, Accept nothing as true which you do not clearly and distinctly know it to be so. Second one, divide each problem into as many simple parts as possible and arrange these parts in order from the simplest to the complex. Third one, carry on the reflections in due order, starting with solving the simplest and rise little by little or by degrees to knowledge of the more complex. And the final one, make enumerations so as to make sure that no omissions have been made and no mistakes has been committed. Descartes held that nothing perceived by the senses is clear and distinct. So he suggested intuition as a source of clear and distinct ideas. A series of intuitions constitute a demonstration. By reviewing the demonstrations carefully, one becomes absolutely certain of conclusions drawn. If we limit our assertions to the clear and distinct ideas which are known intuitively, error is impossible. If we are impelled by emotions or prejudices or confused ideas, we make assertions for which we have no clear idea and distinct knowledge, and we commit error. In developing the epistemological method, Descartes also developed a skeptical approach, which later came to be known as initial skepticism. This method starts with doubt. Everything is doubted. He doubted his own sensations, memory, waking thoughts, existence of external world, the truths of mathematics, and even his own existence. Then he found that there is one thing which he cannot doubt. That is, he cannot doubt the fact that he is doubting or thinking. That means he cannot doubt about his doubt. Since the doubt exists, there must be a doubter. This led to the conclusion cognito ergo sum, which means I think, therefore I exist. Thus, Descartes proved his existence. Based on this epistemological method, he forwards to establish his metaphysical speculations like existence of God, mind, and matter as substances, along with his insistence on dualist metaphysics and his attempted explanation of mind-body relation through the theory of interactionism. Spinoza follows Cartesian method, but seeks more consistency and systemization. The metaphysical idea of substance is worked out in a logically consistent manner and brought about monism in the place of dualism. It gave way to pantheism and psychophysical parallelism. Spinoza adopts a geometrical method. Everything follows from the first principle as necessarily as the propositions of geometry follow from their logical presuppositions. The universe is conceived as a causal chain in which each link is necessarily connected with the preceding link, just as in a process of reasoning, every conclusion is grounded on premises. Spinoza tries to solve the problem of deriving the many from the one by his doctrine of modes. He defines mode as the modification of substance which exists in and is conceived through something other than itself. He speaks of finite modes and infinite modes. According to him, God, the substance, in the attribute of extension has the infinite mode of motion and rest. In the attribute of thought, God possesses infinite mode of intellect. Through these infinite modes, one universal substance takes the form of various objects of our daily life. The human beings, plants, animals, sticks, stones, and every particular thing in the world are finite modes. Leibniz carried forward the rationalist claims through his theory of monads. They are centers of force, differing quantitatively. They are mental, absolutely simple substances, not composed of extended parts and cannot be decomposed. Therefore, monads are indestructible and immortal. All monads are graded in accordance with the degree of perfection they have in mirroring the universe. The bare monads, the lowest ones, constitute the inorganic world. Monad at the top is the supreme monad, and this is God. In man, monad is a reasonable spirit. These spirits reflect, they are aware of their own selves. They are also capable of using the logical principles of contradiction and sufficient reason. God has created a pre-established harmony between the monads, rendering every monad in agreement with all the other monads at all time. The world we experience forms only a very small portion of the whole universe, and we know the world only for a very short period of time.